Segregation in America. Whites only restaurants, schools, neighborhoods, and yes, even in medical care. In the early 1900s, during the Great Migration and job opportunities at the Ford Assembly Plant, Detroit had a population of about 30,000 African Americans, but black patients and black doctors were not allowed privileges in white hospitals.
A terribly degrading and demeaning situation out of clear, blatant racism.
The grandfather of Wayne County Executive Warren Evans was one of those doctors.
So African-American doctors who in many cases were not able to practice at these white hospitals began to start their own hospitals.
The Dunbar Hospital building, it is still standing in Detroit's Midtown on Frederick Street. It is right in the shadows of Detroit's medical and arts and cultural district. The home, built in the late 1800s in a residential area of mansions at the time, and it was purchased by black doctors and converted into Detroit's first hospital for African Americans.
Wayne County Executive Warren Evans' grandfather, Dr. Alfred B. Clegg Sr., was one of the Dunbar Hospital founders.
My grandfather, with his family, came to Detroit right out of medical school.
During segregation in the early 1900s, Jamon Jordan is a Detroit Black history historian.
Many of the doctors attended historically black colleges that had medical schools.
Dr. Clegg was one of an elite few that didn't.
We went to the University of Indiana Medical School.
Some doctors were able to go to predominantly white institutions that would allow the very top of African Americans to attend 4.0 and have to have all kind of recommendations from very prominent people.
And yet, these top docs, because they were black, denied access, and many black patients denied adequate care at Detroit hospitals.
One of the most demeaning parts of it is none of them allowed black doctors on staff.
And if any, it was unequal care for black patients in colored wards.
You would only be seen in a colored ward after all of the white patients have been seen by the doctor.
So this group of prominent black Detroit doctors started their own hospital, Dunbar Hospital, in 1918 at this house in Midtown Detroit.
Dunbar Hospital, you're getting genius doctors. These are the top performers. They know more about medicine than most other doctors of their time.
They wanted to provide significant medical services to people of color.
And the timing could not have been more crucial. It coincided with the flu pandemic of 1918.
Devastating here in the city of Detroit. Dunbar Hospital is one of the primary places that African Americans would go to.
At one point, when during segregation, you had as many as 18 separate African American hospitals.
Recently retired Henry Ford Hospital obstetrician Dr. Richard Smith spent 40 years practicing in Detroit.
I've had a fantastic career in Detroit.
But says racial disparities still exist.
We still have hospitals in the area which have very few African Americans on staff, particularly among African American men. They're not accepted into positions. When they get through medical school, they're often have a difficulty getting residency selections and then afterwards getting non-hospital privileges. Those issues still exist.
So despite significant progress, there is still more work to be done to improve racial equality in the medical industry. To learn more about Dunbar Hospital and other historic sites in Detroit's African American history, Jamon Jordan's Black Scroll Network History and Tours is hosting virtual tour experiences, and you can sign up on their website. We will post a link with this story on our website at clickondetroit.com.